let's take a little look around. We'll do a little pre-flight. Not that we're going to fly today, but my prop bolts are all nylox and they're all tight. The ones that hold the prop assembly itself to the gearbox are all tight. I got a little bit of antifreeze, looks like, because I fill my radiators from the top, and then as it warms up, that expands and it dribbles out my drain hose and it gets on my exhaust a little bit. But better to have too much than not enough. My air cleaner is nice and lubed up and clean. Carbs are a little oily, but I'm not gonna mess with it. Here's ignition number 1, here's ignition number 2. They're capacitive discharge ignitions. With the plan is that if one fails, the other one's still running, your trike doesn't die on you. You can look up here on the top and you'll see there's 4 spark plugs. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 of these are through one ignition and the other 2 are through another ignition, so they're completely redundant. Okay, as far as the radiators, I have 2 radiators, but the radiators aren't, if I had lost all my fluid or something, it's not the end of the world, because the Rotax will run just fine without radiators as long as you're not horsing it. As long as you're not being obnoxious, it'll run hot, but it'll run. The radiators are just extra. You don't want to take them off, obviously, but they're just extra. Okay, you want to check the springs. There's 6 springs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that hold my exhaust in place. That's it. The springs pull it into like a ball valve. You want to make sure they're RTV'd so they don't, the reason for the RTV is so they don't shake and rattle apart. That keeps things together. And they're also safety wired. If you look, there's safety wire through each spring, so I'm not throwing spring components through the propeller. You got 2 exhaust gas temp gauge plugs here. Gives me my EGT reading, which is over here, forward and back cylinder. Fuel pump right here. Look at all the hoses and stuff. We're all nice and snug, nothing's loose. Here's my oil injection tank for my 2-stroke oil. I'm up 3/4 away. If in an hour flight, I might burn ½ an inch in this tank. It doesn't burn much, hardly at all. It's a 50-to-1, I think, ratio. In the back here, I've got 2, the shocks are bungee cords, and they're on a tilt. So if I land hard or whatever, the tire absorbs some of it, and then the bungees stretch, and it gives me a little bit more. I have a ballistic recovery system here. Rocket deployed. Here's a rocket. I forget what size mortar that is, but that's a dangerous rocket. Parachute, and it's designed to bring me and the trike down. Let's say I'm over the water and I'm coming down. I know I had an engine failure, I can't make it back to land, which obviously you should be wearing a life jacket if you're over water. Blow the parachute, start settling down really slow, unhook your seat belt, and pull off your helmet and get ready to swim. Because you got to make it to shore. The trike's gone. I mean, if you're lucky, it's in shallow water. You can get a boat and go out and get it, but it's probably gone. On the gearbox, you'll notice there's holes on both sides, and this is where the engine crankshaft joins the gearbox. First time I saw that, I thought, what the heck? I'm missing a cover or something, but no, they're open on both sides. I'm not really sure why, but they're supposed to be that way. Here is my rotary valve oil. There's a rotary valve that puts the oil and the gas into the cylinders, and it needs a lube as well. So this is here. Pull starter just like a lawnmower. Okay, electrical fuel tank. I put a squeeze bulb on here for priming, but they say I've had squeeze bulbs on the inside go to crap. So you want to make sure you're bypassed as well. Fuel coming out of the fuel pump. It goes through a bypass and it goes through the squeeze bulb. And I have a little lever here, I can switch it back and forth. I run it with both paths open. In the event one path gets plugged up or something, or the squeeze bulb screws up, then yeah, whatever, I got another path for fuel. What else? If you look all the way up here on the top, you'll see there's a loop, a black loop of material. That's my backup. That goes around the wing as well, besides the Jesus bolt on the top. So if the Jesus bolt breaks, I'm gonna drop probably 2 or 3 inches, but then that strap should keep me attached to the wing. Never had to use it, but that's the plan. Okay, here on the back, I've got 2 straps for my parachute system. The yellow one goes right to the parachute, and the other one goes down through the trike, so that if I blow my parachute out, it peels off the side and it suspends me from the top of the trike. So I come down on my wheels, hopefully. So if I'm coming down really fast, the frame is designed to be progressively collapsible, I think that's what they call it, so that the frame will fold up and that'll absorb a lot of the impact. That's not something I want to test. Over here I got 2 ignition switches. 1 CDI, 2 CDIs, redundant. Main seat belt. I've got room for somebody in the back. I take passengers once in a while. Here is the pull handle for my parachute with a safety on it. The safety also has my ignition key. So in order to put the key in the ignition, I have to remove the safety so I know that thing is armed and ready to go. Okay, instruments. On the bottom I've got dual EGT, exhaust gas temperature. I've got an ignition switch, that's just for the electrics. The motor doesn't need an ignition, it just needs these 2 switches here on the side. The motor will run just fine with no battery, no electrical power, whatever, motor keeps running. Here's my push start if my battery's charged. Here's water temperature. Here is RPMs. Up here I've got airspeed in knots. I've got hour meter. I've got a strobe switch. Goes to my little blue strobe. And I have an altimeter, which is adjustable to the pressure for the day. Whatever the millibars are. Let's see what else we got. Up front wheel. I have an adjustable steering stabilizer, which I've never adjusted. That cuts down the wobble when you touch down or when you're taking off. It was set up, I guess, when I had it. So on the right side here is my foot throttle. Left side is my foot brake. This one only has a brake on the front wheel. My shocks, my front shocks, see, it's just a rubber, clump of rubber. I'm going to take off my front wheel today, and I'm going to check my brakes, because the last time I flew they were squeaking. So I might be running low on brake lining. I might have to get another set of brakes. Tires. I have new tires in the garage, ready, but I haven't been able to find any inner tubes for them. These are Carlisle 800 by 6. They're Turf Glide tires. I found the tires, I got brand new tires, but I got no inner tubes for them. I'll get that. What else we got? It looks like I'm delaminating, which really got me worried last time I was over, but I don't think that is. I think that's just where the strap, I have a strap that keeps this thing from spinning while I'm going down the road on the trailer. And I think the strap rubbed it and made it a little white and funky looking. I'm gonna put a coat of wax or something on that, see if that goes away. Brakes over here, front brake. And that's really about it for a trike. You don't need much more. The shield down below here, this thing here, that's a rock shield. Sometimes the front tire, if you're taking off from an unimproved runway or a dry lake or a gravel road or something, front tire wants to throw rocks up and they hit the prop and you end up with chips in the prop. That's designed to keep them below the prop level. So if I'm throwing up any rocks, they're not going into the propeller. This trike's an 06 or 07, I think it's an 07. It's an old trike, but take care of it. It runs pretty good. So far, so good. I just changed the gear lube. Now I'm getting ready to take the front wheel apart. I want to check the brakes, see if I got how my brake landings are doing. I'll get back with you.